Thank you.
She usually does it. Okay. They're all on. We just usually you just turn. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Otsego City Council meeting. Tonight is Monday, October 11th. Audra, can you have the record show that Councilmember Gady is absent this evening? Councilmember Darkenwald is present. Councilmember Dahl is present. Councilmember Morris is present, along with our city administrator, our assistant city administrator, our attorney, our engineer, and our planner. At this time, I will ask you all to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our first item of business is our open forum. This is the portion of the meeting where you can come to the podium, state your name and address, and limit comments to 5 minutes or less. Would anyone like to speak at this time?
Madam Mayor, council members. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Mark Blyden. I'm your Wright County Commissioner for another year and a few months. And then you'll have to train somebody else in. A couple of things I'm here for is I wanted to talk a little bit about the lost funds, which is a local option sales tax, and information that's out on the county website that we want everybody to look at and do the survey on there. It's interactive. So there's a virtual open house and also some open houses, one at the county transportation building and one on Howard Lake. So we tried to get it a little more easier for people to get to. But you can do the virtual open house, and that goes until November 4th. It's open now. It talks a little bit about how important it is. It talks about where that money comes from, that it's not food taxed or anything. It's just the non-essential items. Although, it doesn't even include cars either. So it is, again, non-essential. And as a business owner, and again, I apologize for the way I look. If anybody is looking for a part-time job, you know, I was giving her a hard time. The county's hiring, going to be needing an assistant administrator. So I was trying to poach.
No.
Adam said I can't come anymore after this.
Nope. Go back.
All right. Oh.
See if that new Dan contract gets approved.
Yeah. Adam will lose it.
Man, and fighting words.
Yeah, I don't like it.
No. Anyway, as a business owner, I own a quick lube and a car wash. So at the car wash, it ends up costing me more for the lost funds because I can't raise my prices by 0.5%. It doesn't work out very well. I don't want to deal with pennies in a car wash. I don't know anybody else that would prefer to put pennies in. I sure the heck wouldn't want to be counting them. And I think it also says on there that 25%, at least 25% of the money that comes into this county is not from this county. So that's an advantage to all of us too. Everything along the freeways, you know, with people stopping in at the convenience stores and the restaurants, whatever, all that sort of also helps the county. So I just want to let you guys look at that, but your residents, it's important that they get their information in and where they want to see it. I've been reading a lot of the Facebook posts, and I know that a lot of people in this town love the roundabout, so they'll be able to say where they want the next ones and that sort of stuff. And it's not just Otsego, it's St. Michael too. But they are safer, and that is one great advantage of them. And I think that's about it regarding that. You just, look at it, and there's some good information on there. And then again, an interactive map, you can put down where you think improvements need to be. And that's one of the things that I think we've accomplished in the last 8.5 years or so, is that we have improved a lot of the roads over in this area, which when we got on the county board, we changed how we decided where roads needed to be improved. We went by metrics, car counts, instead of the good old buddies club. So I think we've succeeded in improving a number of different places in the county. And again, make sure all your residents fill out that and get as much people interested in as possible, whether they want it or not. If they don't want it, we want to know that too. And then I also want to congratulate Otsego for becoming the big gun in the county now, which talking to the mayor earlier, we probably assumed that it happened a few years ago, but it's official now that you guys are the largest one, which will mean that in December, early December, somebody will have to be going to the county for verifying vote counts and stuff. So that's left up to the largest city in Wright County, which you guys will be for the next 10 years. I'd be willing to bet. And then in 10 years, during the 2030 census, we do not have to do any redistricting this year. But my guess is that in 2030, 2032, when the next elections take place, there will be redistricting. So for those of you that be around back at that time, keep a track of who's at the county and make sure your voices are heard on how it gets set up. My gut feeling is it'll probably be Otsego and Albertville in one district. So that's it. Do you guys have any questions for me? Is there anything else that Adam was going to talk about?
No, I don't think so. For council, this has been posted on the website and social media accounts as well, so that it's out there for residents to be able to find and attend those open houses, either virtually or in person. So.
Tom?
Mayor, and again, Commissioner, just want to thank you for all the years of service that you've given to the residents of Otsego, and for the next year plus. Thank you. But specifically, the question, this LOST tax expires December 31st, 2022. Is what you're looking at, is that extending it another 5 years, or is it a definite period of time?
That'll be up to the board
Okay.
next December or whenever we decide to vote on it. That was my request the last time. That won't be my request this time. But again, there's 2 new commissioners too. I don't know what they'll do.
I know it was more of the reason to do this is to kind of give it a trial run to see how it worked.
I want to see the benefits and how it affected residents, and now that we have some numbers that were done by the University of Minnesota, knowing that 25% of the money comes from outside the county, gives a little bit better idea. And the amount of money that we did bring in also helped us to be able to do a lot more than what we originally had planned. So, and there's still a lot needed over in this neck of the woods. It's the largest part of the county population wise, but it had the and had the worst roads. So I'm glad that we're moving forward and getting things a little safer for the area residents of Otsego and St. Michael too.
And maybe Dan or Ron, are there any roads identified in the long range transportation plan that this money would go towards, I guess, in
Mayor.
immediate near future?
Yeah, the one we've been discussing a little bit as staff is CASA 36 from 101 over to 42. Plus they have some that is 42s on there itself. But the one thing about CASA 36, I think the council's heard from residents that live south of 36 having a difficult time getting to the north side because of course the higher speeds. And there really isn't a warranted for any type of traffic stop there for the pedestrians to cross. But in that case, you know, I know some people aren't thrilled with roundabouts, but there's a lot of people that are thrilled with roundabouts. They probably just don't post it on social media. That might be a good location, or a pedestrian tunnel. There is some areas, I think, just to the north of that that has elevation difference between the road and the surrounding ground that you could put a pedestrian tunnel through. So there might be ways to get those residents that live on the south side of 36 to be part of the rest of the community on the north side without taking any of the kids' lives in hands trying to get across the road.
And doesn't that then also fall into the Three Rivers Park District, that long range plan of hooking?
Right. That's where, you know, the pedestrian tunnel came into the thought process, was that the Three River Park District did show a tunnel going through there.
Right.
I don't know how long that's out, so maybe there's some interim solution such as a roundabout at Randolph Avenue, CASA 36.
The first phase was done this year, I believe, to Delano. So it'll be done in phases, and
I believe ours is the last
it is,
section.
but because of their, it's coming from Lake Rebecca and working all the way. Actually, it's coming from the old railroad trail line that is now a trail. It starts there and works its way eventually up to here. And there was one other thing I did want to mention. I was going through your survey that you guys had done. A lot of interesting comments and stuff in there. And one of the things I noticed that they wanted more river access. And just to let you know, if you haven't been down to the Otsego Park, we're redoing
Thanks.
the river banks there. It's going to look funky for a little while, but eventually it will be a lot better and protected a lot longer. But once that's all done, it sounds like next spring, summer or so, they are going to be moving the river access over to that area so that it'll be easier for people to get in and out down to the river. So just thought I'd throw that in. I double checked with our parks director. He said that's what's happening.
So will it actually be like a trail specifically versus just people that just make the trail themselves?
The way
now?
it sounds, it's supposed to be something to make it easier for them, easier slope to get down to the river and stuff.
Okay. That's
So-
good to hear. Any other improvements anticipated at the Otsego Park?
No, not at this point. If you ever hear of any of the buildings, the homes coming up for sale, we need additional parking over there and it's just kind of landlocked. Although if the river stays low, we can start claiming some of that maybe.
Yeah.
The other one regarding the loss funding is 39 too. There is some of that loss funding that will also be used on 39. So,
Would it be at 19 and 39 or what?
and I believe it's all the way between 19 and to where we've already worked.
CASA 42 is on there as well, from
Yep.
River Bridge all the way down to Trunk Highway 101. That project's on there as well.
It's takes time. Not cheap doing roads either. So
Mark, one question. You had said in the survey when you take it to put areas of concern or where you'd like to see, was it construction happening or?
Yeah, I believe that's, when I was looking at it.
Okay.
There was a spot where it said there was a spot where it showed, where the highway department thinks things should be happening with the lost funding.
Okay.
And then there was the next slide, was allowing residents to put on the map where they think. So, any other questions? Anybody have any answers? Anybody know anybody looking for work?
Besides Sabrina?
Gene, it's been a pleasure meeting you. I hope you enjoyed
Thanks
your
for
time
coming,
here.
Mark. Thanks for coming.
I don't know, you may be over to flying at the con. Anyway, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
All right, this is still the open forum portion of the meeting. Would anyone else like to comment?
Madam Mayor.
Yes, Corey.
Hey, Corey Tanner, 7952 Palmgren Avenue Northeast. Is Commissioner Delyden still in there?
Yes.
No, he left.
Oh,
No,
He's
he's
still
still here.
oh, Mark, I was just wondering, maybe you've touched on this before, but has there been any discussion about making the intersection at McIver and 38 permanent with lights over there or a roundabout or traffic control change? Seems like it's really
Also on the
helpful.
lost list.
Yeah, that's actually on the law. That's also on that lost funding too. The way it looks right now, it's leaning towards a roundabout.
Okay.
It keeps traffic flowing, and again, it's safer. I don't know if anybody else noticed it, but when I'm coming to stoplights, there are people running red lights all the time. I've never seen it like I have in the last year or so. So the roundabouts are a lot safer for residents, drivers, pedestrians, bikers, everybody. That answer your question?
Yeah, I would agree too. I mean, once people start getting used to them a little more, I mean, you're going to see them not only here, but it's all of our neighboring cities too. I mean, just takes a little bit of time to get used to them. I know.
They're
I've seen
everywhere.
I've seen the Facebook post too, and a lot of people are happy about them. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I
For both.
appreciate it.
Yeah, and enjoy that light. It'll be gone by November 1st, I believe.
Okay. Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome.
Any other comments?
Have a good evening.
Thank you. All right, then we will move on to consider our agenda for approval. Does anyone have anything that they'd like to add or delete at this time?
Mayor,
Dan?
we'd like to add item 6.1, a extension of the final plat approval and development agreement for Villas at Kittredge Crossing. City clerk left you a request for council action on the dais.
Anyone else have anything? All right, then a motion would be in order.
Madam Mayor,
Ms. Brittany.
I'll move to approve the agenda as amended, adding 6.1.
Second.
Motion by Brittany, seconded by Tom. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Moving on to item 3, our consent agenda. A motion would be in order.
Madam Mayor,
Ms. Brittany.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda as written.
Second.
Motion by Brittany, seconded by Tom. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Moving on to item 4.1, which is a public hearing. This is our proposed assessment roll of unpaid special charges. I'm going to turn this over to Audra. Audra, have all the legal notices been posted?
Mayor, yes, all legal notices have been posted and have been mailed to the residents.
Okay. Did you receive any responses back that need to be
We
put into
received
record?
no calls, emails, or letters.
Okay. Thank you. I'll turn this over to Adam then.
Thank you, Mayor. So as outlined in your packet materials tonight, the city council's required to host a public hearing for any properties that have unpaid special service charges. These could include property abatements such as outdoor junk and debris, shoreland alterations, lack of rental licensing, things like that. So again, the council's job isn't at this meeting to determine whether or not if a violation of city code has occurred, but rather to listen to the public hearing and allow those residents to contest the pending assessment. In your packet, there is the Exhibit A, which is the assessment roll. There are 9 separate properties with a total of $4,500 to be assessed. There is a resolution to adopt that assessment roll for the council after you host the public hearing. And I can answer any questions.
Thank you. As Adam said, this is a public hearing. We will now, at this point, open the public hearing. If you have any comments regarding the proposed assessment roll that was presented to the council this evening, we need you to come to the podium, state your name and address, and limit comments to 5 minutes or less. Would anyone like to speak regarding this matter? I'll ask again if there's any comments. And one more time. Hearing no comments, we will close the public hearing and bring it back up to council for any questions or comments for staff, otherwise a motion. Anyone have any?
Madam Mayor, question for the city attorney. You've reviewed the resolution and everything appears to be in order.
Yes, I have.
Any other questions or comments? Tom?
Unless somebody else has another question or comment, I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2021-80, adopting the assessment goal for unpaid special charges.
I second.
Motion by Tom, seconded by Jeff. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Moving on to item 5, which is city council reports and updates. Does anyone have anything that they would like to discuss or update? Tom?
Madam Mayor, I just want to say thanks to you and to Ross, who's not in the building, and all those that volunteered at the pumpkin patch. It seemed to be a very successful event again.
Thank you.
Pictures online look good.
Yeah.
Good job.
It was a good,
You didn't wear your dress?
no, I didn't wear my costume.
Mm.
Do that in a few weeks.
2 weeks? Okay, great. And it'll can you.
Yes, that was gonna be my comment. We had a really great turnout, very positive comments from residents. So again, thank you to Park and Rec staff for all that they did to get us ready and prepared for that. And weather was great. It was an inside event, but easier for us to manage and get set up. Again, pass that along to staff and any volunteers that were present that day. So
Thank you.
thank you. Anyone else have anything? Moving on to, we're going to move to 6.1 first, and then we'll do reports and updates. So item 6.1 was on the dais. This is the Billows of Kittredge Crossing, and I'll turn this over to Dan.
Thank you, Mayor. City Council approved final plat and development agreement for the Villas of Kittredge Crossings back on March 22nd of this year. The zoning, or excuse me, the subdivision ordinance requires that the final plat be recorded within 100 days after project approval. Basically, we want to ensure that the project moves forward and all the securities are put in place once it's been approved. The developer has requested a number of extensions. They've had some issues with financing their project as well as finalizing their construction plans. They closed on the project last Friday in terms of their financing, and we're working to get started on construction and site grading yet this year. But the last extension the council had approved was to September 30th. And so prior to that date, they did request an additional extension. So city staff is recommending another extension to October 31st of this month to allow them to finalize everything and get the documents recorded at Wright County.
Thank you. Questions from council to staff regarding this? Or a motion? Tom?
Madam Mayor, just a quick question for Dan. Dan, do you foresee any other extensions that they're gonna be requesting, or does it seem like everything is pretty much in order now? This will be the last extension needed.
Mayor, having spoken with their attorney on Friday, they did complete the closing on their financing, so they're looking to bring all the documents in this week and have the final plat being checked by the Wright County surveyor this week as we speak. So no other extensions are expected.
Tom?
Madam Mayor, with that, I'll make a motion to approve an extension to record the final plat of villas at Kittredge to 31st October 2021.
Second.
Motion by Tom, seconded by Brittany. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. We are still under item 6, under staff reports and updates. I will go to Adam first. Anything?
Thank you, Mayor. Hawkinson Anderson is reporting that the water tower will be hoisted up on Sunday. So we have that to look forward to. So they'll be doing some photography and time-lapse photos. So we have that for records. One question for you. After Mark's presentation about the loss funding, there are a number of cities in Wright County that are adopting resolutions in support of the loss funding for forwarding on to the county board. So I have a template available that I could put on the next council agenda, but I don't want to add it to the agenda if that's not something that the council's in support of.
Comments from council on this?
I'd like to see a copy of what the other cities have put forward as far as resolutions. Or is it just a resolution supporting it, or do they also have like projects listed?
Nope,
that they
it's
support?
one consistent, from what I've seen so far, one consistent resolution that all the cities, I won't say all of them, but most of them are adopting in support of the funding.
If you could put that in our next packet, I appreciate it.
Okay.
Has there any cities denied?
I don't know that at this time.
Oh, okay.
We, at the Wright County Mayors Association meeting, which I passed that on to you guys, Chad was there and spoke about this. And so we had, a chance for all the mayors to ask questions about it and just projects. And obviously they support this because things have been able to be completed and built sooner than they would have had we not had the loss funding in place.
Yeah, it totals just shy of $50 million over the next 15 years. Projects that are outlined that are either within Otsego's borders or touch Otsego's borders.
And I'd just add to that. I mean, being on the council for a number of years, dealing with the county, there was a number of projects in their long-term transportation plan that they would never have funding for in order to get done. And over the past, these past 5 years, it seems like they've done quite a bit as far as projects, and especially here in Otsego, making our county roads wider and safer too. So,
And that was one of the points that they brought up, is that
Yep.
no dollars had really been spent up in this northeast section of the county
that's what
prior to this.
And you really pushed that with the mayors in the county, and so did staff, which they're starting to spend money here. So
Right. So it's proved to be very positive for the city of Otsego with this formula, way that they did it, because those projects would not have been paid for, would not have been a priority. Even though, as Mark said, our roads had the highest travel data on County Road 39.
I'd like to see that.
No other updates from me.
Okay. Audra.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to add the photo contest is ending this Wednesday. So if people would like to vote for their favorite photos, please do so, and you can vote once a day.
So you want me to submit a picture of myself or something?
No. There's already
Yes,
pictures.
The photos are already submitted.
You get to vote. It was Very nice.
I
Really
didn't-
nice.
I didn't
photos.
think I'd make Adam blush, but I think I did.
Was it this one?
Put the click in.
When the contest is done, we then, as in years past, we've had the winner come and provided them with like a gift card. Is that the plan again for this year?
That is my understanding that we'll have a gift card and a certificate to present at a council meeting.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm glad that we're continuing to do this. When it was put in place, it was nice to see and then obviously use that for our website.
Yes.
A lot of great pictures.
Yeah, really nice. All right, Sabrina,
Mayor and council, I have no updates. Thank you.
and you won't be working at the county. You'll stay here, right? Just kidding.
For the record, you can answer.
For the record. Audra's writing it down.
That'll be her update next week. She doesn't leave.
Remember, the ink is still fresh on your name tag. there. Let it dry.
Dave,
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing to report.
okay, Ron,
70th Street Trail, that was fairly far along at the last council meeting. Was hoping it'd be completed at this time. Right now, they have a third of it paved, and then they ran into an issue with a soft spot a couple weeks ago, and been waiting for Mother Nature to dry it rather than them do the work. But they are scheduled to complete that paving tomorrow, so that project may well be finished this year. So looking forward to that, getting that off of my plate for one. And yeah, Adam calls it hoisting the water tower. They're actually gonna flip it over. That's it.
We did at a top, like an arrow going down. Interesting.
that's why does the finances. He's not the engineer. And I've spoken with Ron too. There were some punch list items regarding the trails still on the over off of Odine and Page that needed to be addressed, and you had
Correct.
reached out to.
Yep, still working with the contractor to get those completed. Again, hopefully by the time we meet again, everything is completed and we have grass growing where grass should be.
Perfect. All right, Dan.
Mayor, the next planning commission meeting is next Monday, October 18th. We have one item on the agenda, which is the Prairie Point preliminary and final plat east of Prairie View Elementary School. 176 lots, and out of the 120 acres, over 50 acres would be deeded to the city as open space surrounding that section 30 wetland. Big blue blob right in the middle of the map behind.
Are they not able to build anything in that wetland? I mean, even if
Correct.
okay, so they would have to keep it that way.
The city is fortunate in that regard, the way Otsego Creek cuts through there, it
Mhm.
creates kind of a area of no man's land where it's not accessible for development. So the city will acquire that consistent with the Parks Master Plan. The city has planned a greenway corridor surrounding that completely, and then the greenway extending north towards 85th Street in the future.
We should put that up.
Thank you. Anything else?
Nothing.
All right, does anyone else have anything? And if nothing, a motion to adjourn would be in order.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Tom, seconded by Brittany. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Hi.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Meeting is ended. Thank you all for attending. And we will reconvene up front.
Forgot about Jason.
Oh, Jason.
Uh-oh.
Oh, actually, we can't, sorry, the musical. But Jason, can you give us an update? And we have a workshop that we continued. Can you speak at that? Thank you. I am so sorry.
I cannot believe she forgot.
That's okay. I'll be with you. All right. So everybody up front, and then again, I'm sorry, Jason, that I missed you. Ron moved. I was looking at Dan. We joked around. Oh, Sorry.
Are we going